Don't call out a narcissist. God commands you to do this instead. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were banging your head against a wall trying to make someone see their own selfishness? Have you ever tried to make a narcissist take responsibility only to realize it's like yelling into the wind? Look, I get it. You see the manipulation, the gaslighting, the lies, and your first instinct is to call it out. You want justice. You want them to wake up. But let me tell you something that will change your life. That's not your job, because when you fight against narcissism the wrong way, you lose. They thrive on chaos. They feed off your reactions. And the moment you try to expose them, they flip the script and make you the villain. Sound familiar? So, what do you do instead? What does God command you to do when you're dealing with someone who refuses to change? You rise, you elevate, you step into your power. The Bible doesn't say, go fight battles that deplete your soul. It says, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. It says, do not cast your pearls before swine. Matthew 7:6. That means you don't waste your energy trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. Instead, you focus on your growth. You walk away with dignity. You let your actions speak louder than their manipulation, because guess what? You're not just here to survive toxic people, you're here to thrive beyond them. So today, I challenge you, stop trying to change them, stop trying to make them see, and start stepping into the higher calling that God has placed on your life. You want to break free? Then listen up. Silence is your power, detachment is your weapon, and self-mastery is your revenge. It's time to walk away, level up, and never look back. Calling out a narcissist won't change them, so stop wasting your energy. You ever try to argue with someone who refuses to listen? You lay out the truth, you show them the facts, and somehow you become the bad guy? Sound familiar? That's because narcissists don't play by the same rules as you do. You think logic will work. You think if you just say it the right way, they'll finally get it. But let me tell you something. They don't want to get it. They don't want to hear the truth. They want to twist it. Every time you call them out, you're giving them exactly what they want: your energy, your attention, your focus. And let me tell you, that's their fuel. That's how they stay in control. Because as long as you're trying to prove a point, you're still in their game. You ever notice how they never take accountability? How no matter what happens, it's always someone else's fault? That's not an accident, that strategy. Because if they admitted the truth, they'd lose power. And power is what they live for. So what happens when you confront them? They flip the script, they turn the tables, and suddenly you're the one defending yourself. You're the one explaining. You're the one who looks crazy, and they're just sitting back, watching, winning. It's a trap, and every time you take the bait, you lose a little more of yourself, your peace, your joy, your energy. Because let's be real, how many times has calling them out actually worked? How many times have they said, you're right, I see what I did wrong? Never. So what do you do instead? You break the pattern. You stop engaging. You stop explaining yourself to someone who has no intention of listening. Because the moment you stop feeding their need for control, they start losing their grip on you. It's not weakness to walk away. It's not giving up. It's choosing your battles. And this is a battle you don't win by fighting. You win by refusing to play. Because your time is valuable, your energy is valuable, and God did not put you on this earth to waste it trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. So today I challenge you, stop trying to change them. Stop trying to make them see what they refuse to see. Focus on what you can control: yourself, your mindset, your peace. Because when you shift your focus from them to you, everything changes. You start reclaiming your power, you start building your life, and suddenly they don't seem so powerful anymore. You don't need to expose them. They expose themselves. The truth always comes out, but it's not your job to force it. It's your job to move forward. The best way to beat a narcissist isn't by fighting them. It's by outgrowing them. It's by showing them that their games don't work on you anymore. And when you stop reacting, when you stop giving them what they want, that's when you truly set yourself free. They thrive on your reaction. So your silence is your power. Picture this. You're in an argument with a narcissist. They're throwing accusations at you, twisting your words, pushing your buttons, and you feel that fire inside, that urge to defend yourself, to prove your point. But let me tell you something. That's exactly what they want. Because narcissists don't argue to solve problems, they argue to control. They argue to keep you emotionally hooked. And the moment you react, they know they've got you. Your reaction is their power. Your frustration, your anger, your pain, it feeds them. It makes them feel important. Because as long as you're reacting, you're still playing their game, and they are the masters of the game. So, how do you break free? You stop playing. You stop giving them what they crave. You stop reacting because the second you go silent, the second you detach, their power over you starts to crumble. And I get it. Silence is hard. You feel like if you don't respond, they'll get away with it. You feel like if you don't say something, they'll win. But let me ask you, when has arguing with them ever made them change? When has explaining yourself ever led to a breakthrough?
Exactly.
It never does. Because narcissists don't care about truth. They care about control, and control only works if you engage. But when you step back, when you refuse to react, that's when the tables turn. Because silence isn't weakness, it's strength, it's power, it's knowing that you don't need to prove anything to anyone who refuses to hear you. It's choosing peace over chaos. It's choosing your sanity over their games. And watch what happens when you stop reacting. Watch how confused they get. Watch how they scramble to get a rise out of you, because without your reaction, they lose control. Without your energy, they lose their power. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them your emotional investment. What you owe is yourself, the freedom to walk away from toxic cycles that don't serve you. So the next time they try to bait you, pause, breathe, and remember your silence is your weapon. Your indifference is your victory. And the moment you stop reacting is the moment you win, because true power isn't in proving them wrong. It's in showing them that they don't control you anymore, that their words, their games, their manipulations, they don't touch you anymore. And when they realize that, that's when you truly set yourself free. God calls you to rise above, not fight in the mud. You ever see two people arguing in the street? One of them is throwing insults, getting loud, trying to provoke the other, and the other person, calm, silent, unbothered. Now tell me, who looks more powerful? It's not the one screaming, it's the one who refuses to be dragged into the chaos. Because real strength isn't in fighting battles that drain you. It's in knowing which battles are beneath you. And let me tell you, fighting with a narcissist, that's a battle in the mud. It's a battle where you can't win because they don't play fair. It's a battle where the only way to come out clean is to never step in at all. God didn't put you here to fight for validation. He didn't call you to spend your energy trying to change someone who refuses to change. He called you to something higher, something greater. He called you to walk with wisdom. Like, look at the people who succeed, who thrive, who live in peace. Are they the ones constantly explaining themselves? Are they the ones arguing with toxic people? No, they're the ones who know when to walk away. They're the ones who let their actions speak louder than their words. Because every time you argue with someone who refuses to listen, you're giving them power. You're giving them access to your mind, your emotions, your spirit. And that's not what God wants for you. He wants you to guard your heart. He says, do not cast your pearls before swine, Matthew 7:6. You know what that means? It means don't waste your wisdom, your energy, your peace on people who trample on it, on people who don't appreciate it, on people who twist your words and use them against you. You ever notice how a narcissist reacts when you refuse to engage? They panic, they get louder, they do everything they can to pull you back in. Why? Because they need your reaction to feel powerful. They need your energy to stay in control. But when you refuse to fight, when you refuse to step into their chaos, they lose their grip on you. They don't know what to do because suddenly their manipulation doesn't work anymore. And that's when you rise. That's when you step into the strength God has given you. That's when you realize you don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You don't need to prove a single thing to someone who isn't willing to hear the truth. Because your power isn't in fighting them. Your power is in walking away with your dignity intact. Your power is in refusing to let them pull you into a war that only leaves you exhausted. So today, make a decision. Decide that you're done fighting battles that don't serve you. Decide that you're done wasting your energy on people who thrive on drama. Decide that you're ready to rise above, because the higher you rise, the smaller they look. And the moment you step into your higher calling, the moment you choose peace over chaos, that's the moment you truly win. Detachment is not weakness, it's strength. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly felt peace? Not the kind of peace that comes for a moment and disappears after the next argument. I mean real peace. The kind that no one can take from you. Now think about this. How much of your stress comes from trying to control things that are outside of your power? How much of your pain comes from expecting someone to be different when they've already shown you who they are? This is where detachment comes in. And let me tell you, detachment is not weakness, it's power, it's freedom. Most people think detachment means you stop caring. That's not true. Detachment doesn't mean you don't love. It means you love yourself enough to stop letting other people control your emotions. You ever notice how a narcissist works? They want you emotionally invested. They want you reacting. They want you tangled up in their chaos. Because as long as you care too much about what they think, they control you. But the moment you detach, the moment you stop giving them that power, they lose control. They can't manipulate you anymore. They can't pull you into their drama because their words, their actions, they don't reach you anymore. And that's strength. That's mastery. That's taking your power back. Detachment doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you choose where to place your energy. It means you stop wasting your time trying to change people who don't want to change. It means you protect your mind, your heart, your peace. Because at the end of the day, you can't control them. You can't make them see the truth. But what you can control is yourself, your reactions, your focus. And when you learn to master that, nothing and no one can shake you. You ever seen someone so calm, so unbothered, that it drives a manipulative person crazy? That's because peace is power. And when you detach from the need to fix, to prove, to fight, that's when you step into a whole new level of strength. So if you want freedom, if you want power, if you want true peace, you have to master detachment. You have to learn to let go, not because you're weak, but because you're too strong to keep holding on to what's weighing you down. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who fight every battle. They're the ones who know which battles are beneath them. And when you master detachment, when you learn to walk away from what doesn't serve you, that's when you truly step into your power. Your growth is your best revenge. Let me ask you something. What's the best way to show someone that they no longer have power over you? Is it by fighting them, arguing with them, trying to prove your worth? No, it's by thriving without them. Because nothing unsettles a narcissist more than watching you rise, watching you smile when they expected you to be broken, watching you succeed when they expected you to fall, watching you glow in your power when they did everything they could to keep you small. And let me tell you something, they don't want you to grow. They don't want you to heal, because if you do, they lose their grip on you. If you do, they can't control you anymore, and that terrifies them. So what's the best revenge? It's not words. It's not confrontation. It's not trying to make them see what they refuse to see. It's becoming the person they never wanted you to be. Because while they're stuck in their toxic cycles, You, you're evolving, you're learning, you're creating a life that has no room for their manipulation. And listen, your growth is not for them. It's not to prove anything to them. It's for you. It's because you deserve to live fully. You deserve to experience joy. You deserve to wake up every morning free from their influence. You ever notice how a narcissist reacts when they see you happy without them? They try to pull you back in. They try to stir the pot. Why? Because they can't stand the idea of you outgrowing them. They can't stand the idea of you realizing that you never needed them in the first place. And that's why growth is so powerful. Because when you grow, when you evolve, when you elevate, they become irrelevant. Their words lose power, their presence loses influence, and you step into a version of yourself that no longer responds to their games. So focus on you, focus on healing, focus on building the life that they once tried to convince you wasn't possible. Because when you do that, you win and they lose access to you forever. And let me tell you something. That's the kind of victory no one can take away from you. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to change. How many times have you told yourself, maybe if I say it differently, they'll finally understand? How many times have you believed that if you just loved them harder, they would finally treat you right? Let me stop you right there. You are not responsible for fixing anyone but yourself. Because here's the truth. You can't change someone who doesn't see a problem with their actions. You can't heal someone who refuses to acknowledge their wounds. And you definitely can't save someone who enjoys the chaos they create. Narcissists don't change because someone calls them out. They don't change because you give them endless chances. They only change when they decide to. And most of the time, they won't because their power comes from staying exactly as they are. And listen, I know you care. I know you want to believe that if you just do the right things, say the right words, show them the right kind of love, they'll finally wake up. But the longer you wait for that day to come, the more of your life you waste on someone who isn't even trying. Let me tell you what God wants for you. He wants you free. He wants you whole. He wants you to walk in your purpose, not spend your life trying to fix someone who enjoys breaking you. Because love is not about suffering. Love is not about constantly proving your worth to someone who refuses to see it. Love is about partnership, respect, and mutual growth. And if you're the only one growing, if you're the only one trying, then you're not in a relationship. You're in a battle you were never meant to fight. So today, I need you to make a decision. Are you going to keep pouring into someone who refuses to receive it? Are you going to keep trying to fix what they don't even think is broken? Or are you finally going to choose yourself? Because the moment you realize that their change is not your responsibility, the moment you stop trying to save someone who isn't even asking to be saved, that's the moment you reclaim your peace. That's the moment you break free. And listen to me, you don't need to fix them to prove your worth. You don't need to save them to be valuable. You are enough just as you are. And the right people will recognize that without needing to be convinced. So stop waiting for them to change. Start changing your own life instead, because when you do that, that's when you truly start living. When you walk away, you step into the life God has truly planned for you. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have you put on hold because of them? How much energy have you wasted trying to keep them happy? How many times have you sacrificed your peace, your joy, your purpose just to keep them from leaving? Now, let me ask you, what would happen if you finally let go? What would happen if you finally walked away and stepped into the life you were actually meant to live? Because listen, God didn't create you to be trapped in toxic cycles. He didn't put you on this earth to live in constant stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. He created you for greatness. He created you for purpose. And you will never reach that purpose if you keep holding on to what's holding you back. Every minute you spend trying to fix a narcissist is a minute you could be spending building the life you truly deserve. Every moment you waste in their chaos is a moment you could be investing in your future. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to let anyone steal my future. Because when you finally walk away, when you finally step into your true power, something incredible happens. You start to see clearly. You start to dream again. You start to feel peace like you haven't felt in years. And you realize that the life you were so afraid of losing, it was never meant for you in the first place. Let me tell you something. God does not close doors to punish you. He closes them to protect you. He removes people from your life, not to break you, but to free you. And when you finally trust him enough to walk away from what's hurting you, he replaces it with something better than you ever imagined. But you have to make the choice. You have to be willing to say, I'm done settling for less than what I deserve. I'm done wasting my energy on people who refuse to grow. I'm ready for more. Because listen, the life you want, the peace you crave, the joy you deserve, it's on the other side of walking away. And the second you choose yourself, the second you trust God enough to step into the unknown, that's when you unlock blessings that were waiting for you all along. So today, make the decision. Decide that you are worth more. Decide that your future is worth more. Decide that you will no longer let anyone keep you from the life that was meant for you. Because the moment you walk away, the moment you step into the life that God has truly planned for you, that's when you finally become unstoppable. That's it. This is your blueprint to freedom, power, and peace. This is your reminder that you don't need to fight, you don't need to fix, you don't need to beg. You need to rise. You need to choose yourself. And when you do, your whole life will change. Step into your power and never look back. Listen to me. You have a choice today. A choice to keep fighting battles that drain you or to rise above. A choice to keep waiting for someone to change or to step into the life God has truly planned for you. A choice to keep letting toxic people control your emotions or to take your power back once and for all.